Hi, I got a couple of minutes on my other units doing something, so we're going to go through this really quick, okay? So first off, again, start with things that you know. You know, what do you know exists, all right? So, well, first off, I guess let's go over here. So here's the disconnect. Let's look for the power coming in through here. There's that terminal block where the power comes in. So it's three-phase power. Now you can take power to know what it is, or you can also look in the nameplate. They'll have it on here, usually 208, so that's 230. Now again, not all units have it. But do this for 100 units, and then units that don't have it, it'll be a lot easier to understand, okay? So you can see that everything that comes off of there is going to have, you know, either a 1, 2, or 3 phase of those powers, right? Of that power, right? So you can kind of see it go everywhere. So let's look over here and kind of see if we can find anything like that. So you see these bold 1, 2, 3 right there. So you have line 1, line 2, line 3. All right, that's where that's coming in, right? DS1. Well, remember, we have a legend, right? Let's see if it's on the legend. It might not be. Sometimes there's not. Right there, disconnect main disconnect, right? It's optional. Well, it's actually a mandatory law if I remember my state, but anyway. So you can see that again, we have this wonderful legend right here. Look at how much stuff is on there. Look at how much good information, additional notes, all that stuff is on there. That's wonderful, right? But we know this, okay? So we're going to kind of follow these down and kind of look at all this stuff. So we have fuse, you know, 23. We got all these different things. We have wire numbers right there. See, purple, PR, purple wire, 130. Well, let's see. Here's a purple wire right here. All right, now let's see. Some places they'll have it written right on it, really good. So right here, this is orange wire, 153. So let's see. There's a fuse right there. So that's a purple though. But let's see if there's any other fuse. Oh, right here, there's another fuse. All right, orange, 150 going to it, 152 coming through it. So this one right here is, oh, that's actually 152. My bad, I didn't turn it enough. 152. So you see, now it goes to there. All right, so I see some fuses. I have some fuses right there. So one side is the purple side or whatever. So let's take a look. Where does this go? Well, this purple one goes to this, you know, see this squiggly thingy right here. What's that squiggly thingy right there? Well, T1. What's T1? Let's take a look over here. Going, look, T1 and 2. Transformers. Oh, okay. Right, so we see this is the transformer. So this is now the 24-volt circuit. So you can see right up here, right, you can see that there's like this separation here, that this is no longer connected to the three-phase mess that's over there. Right, you can see that these all come off of the three phases, and you see how there's that distinctive gap, right? And you'll even see that the wires will go over here, you see, to this board up here, right? So you can see now everything connected on this thing, and you have to have a keen eye for it, okay? You got to kind of look and see the separation, but you can see that this is going to be on its own 24-volt transformer, right? And this 24-volt transformer right here is connected to this fuse 22, which is that orange wire. So it's this fuse right here. That fuse 22 controls this entire low voltage circuit, okay? So we're going to look for things that you know. So we have this thing right here, and we can see, okay, OAH, COM, 24, COM. You know, we see all this stuff right here, and we're like, oh my gosh, I'm not entirely sure what that is. We're coming up here. There's a bus right there. It comes down over here. Does this have a label anywhere? Does this have something that we can read? Oh, standard economizer section. You see how there's this little dashed line right there. Reading is so important, to just read. Right now you can see that this is meant to outline that section. That's the economizer. And where is that plugged into? Well, it seems like it's going to be plugged into up here somewhere, right? On this, like, this right here, this J15. So what is this? Right, this is the board, a USB. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe that's in the legend. It might not be. Not everything is in here. Remember, this is the potential of what could be in your unit. USB, unit control board. Where is that? Right there. Pretty obvious, right? Big board right there. Now, it might be hard to see in this lighting, but you can actually see, and you will be able to see, you can see P10 right there, P3 right there, right? So you can see all these different, let's see, P1, P2, P10 right there, P3, okay? And you can see where all these things, so let's look up here, SAT, what is that? Again, let's go down here to the legend, SAT, 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 sensor supply air temperature, okay? RAT, if I look that up, that's return air temperature, outdoor air temperature, okay? And you can see up here, so what is this? This goes up, right? It has this little squiggly thing, and this comes down. What's that little squiggly thing? That's a resistor, right? So this is a temperature probe that is a resistance-based temperature probe. So that means based on resistance, this board will interpret that information. Okay, so what happens is, you know, this board is looking at all these different variables. Okay, so you can view this board as kind of like the brain of the unit. Okay, so it's looking at all these different variables. Okay, it's looking at all these different things. And so you can say, okay, it's looking at, you know, the supply air temperature, looks at the resistance, reports back to the board, and based off of that, the board will think of something, will do something. There's something programmed into it, or you know, an if-then statement or something based on the return air temperature. Do something based on the outdoor air temperature. It'll do something, right? Now down here, you have your safeties. Look at high pressure safety, low pressure safety. Low pressure safety 2, high pressure safety 2 for multiple compressors. So if we look right here, low pressure safety 1. So we can follow this right here. That's a switch, right? You can see the 2 different poles. That's a switch, okay? And then you can look at this little flaggy thing, right? Low pressure. So this is a pressure indicator. So this will open on low pressure. And this is a high pressure switch, right, which would mean that if you look at it, it rises up and opens up for high pressure. Do you understand? So that little flag thing on the switches, a little half moon semicircle, means open on, well, this one underneath it means open on low pressure, and this one underneath it, so it has to rise upwards, means open on high pressure. And you can kind of use that by using your good old noodle and just understanding a low pressure switch will open on low pressure and a high pressure switch will open on high pressure. But what's important about this is you can just trace out these wires and find where it is. So if we're going to look at our board right here, so low pressure, high switcher, P9, let's see where P9 is. P9's right there, right? And we can see, if we go underneath it, we can even see it has a low pressure switch written on the board. And then we can follow, you know, this little wire right there, and we can see, okay, where does that go? Well, it seems to kind of go over here. So let's take a look. Okay, we're gonna open up this side of the unit. Take a look. Oh, right here, the low pressure, right there. You see it's coming right out of there, okay? And so we can kind of see, oh, okay, and we can trace our wires kind of when we understand, okay, what is our board monitoring? What is in our board? And we can see all that from that legend. Now, again, I know not all units have a legend. I know that not all units have that. But if you can do it on a new good unit, 100 new good units, okay, and then you have that old McQuay unit that you're working on, it's gonna be easier for you to just even understand the flow, the engineering, the mindset, to how they build these systems. All right, so we're gonna, you know, kind of keep going. So this is for your compressor contacts, right? C2. And come down here, and look at, they don't have it. It's not on there. Oh no, right? So we don't, I don't know what that is, right? Let's try this one, TB2. Maybe that'll be something. Hopefully that doesn't mean to be determined, right? TB2, terminal block 2. All right, and you can see it will go up to that terminal block, right? So we can kind of understand, or even over here, right? These are your these are your contacts, your 3-phase contactor, right? And you can look at contactor, and try to trace out, you know, what are these things connected to, all right? And now let's come down here and let's see, you know, what's down here. So if you look at it, it's just the same thing. It's more the same thing, but it has the board on its own without any connections to it. It seems to have the economizer, I believe, optional economizer on its own without anything connected to it. But you know, as we're kind of looking at J15, let's see if we can find the J15 on, oh my gosh, look at right there, J15. So that little guy right there is what's responsible for the economizer. Why is that important? Because if you don't know where the economizer is on the unit, but you know where it plugs into, guess what? You can find it. You just got to follow where the wire goes, and you'll find that the economizer's in there. Okay? So, you know, these are just some basic principles of understanding, you know, wiring diagram. So we're going to, you know, keep going through. And if you just go through and read every single thing, SOL, you know, SOL, you know, SOL3, what are those things, right? And you just keep going through, and you keep going from here to here to here to here to here to here, and keep trying to trace out and say, how does this fit together? How does this fit together, right? You know, a secondary way is you can look at like the flow. Okay, so the energy comes from here, goes into there. Those back rivets are you know, places where the energy is going to flow from. So you got to kind of look, oh, okay, those go over here, which powers this transformer right there. Where do these come off of the transformers? Where do these go to, right? What are they powering, right? Stuff like that. So yeah, I got to go back to my unit now because I can hear it running. So yeah, I hope that that's another, you know, common sense wiring diagram walkthrough. Yeah, that's what I'll call it, something like that. But anyway, like, subscribe, please, and hit the bell and all that. It really helps me. All right, you guys, that's how you do it.